welcome to the TCT Talks Wrestling debut podcast. I have some things to talk about from Monday Night Raw last night. I am not watching SmackDown tonight, but I will check it out as soon as I get home from work. But last night, the main event was pretty good, but it had one of those stupid Vince McMahon style finishes, and everybody knows what I'm talking about. I hate the double pinfall finish. It's because wrestling, everybody knows wrestling's fake, but this is how fake can you get? The referee needs to throw both. I've always hated that rule that there can be a double pinfall. The referee ought to tell both of them, look, both of you guys can't pin each other. Get the fuck off. But they got to have that controversial finish because we're 2 weeks away from Elimination Chamber. And now next week, of course, we already know what's going to happen. It's going to be Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor. Winner goes to the Chamber. And it's boring bullshit. And it's just another way for Kurt Angle to be in a feud with Seth Rollins. Something's going to happen between him and Rollins because it was supposed to be him and Jason Jordan at WrestleMania. So in order for Kurt Angle to save this, it's probably going to be Kurt Angle versus Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. I can see that happening. But I did not like the finish. The only match really that I liked last night was Bayley versus Sasha Banks, and that is incredibly bad. Everything else was just meh, not very good. I mean, The Miz and Cena had a decent opener, but it was typical Super Cena bullshit. Kicks out of 5 freaking finishers, and it just starts pissing everybody off. It's like, oh, Miz ain't going to be able to get the skull-crushing finale on the top rope. Cena, of course, is going to do the Super AA. You can just see it coming from a mile away. That's why people don't like John Cena. Now, I don't hate John Cena. I hate his wrestling character because you can just predict everything he does. And I'm telling you, it gets old after a while. I mean, of course, John Cena, yes, he's going to go down as one of the greatest of all time, definitely. He's like the Hulk Hogan of this generation. And I've got a lot of respect for the guy. I mean, he balances doing movies, TV shows, Make-A-Wish, wrestling, but the fact that he is still on top, it's incredible. It just shows how much of a hard-on Vince McMahon has for John Cena, which I'm not to say he doesn't deserve to be on top, but come on. It's time for Brock Lesnar to drop the title. The title hasn't even been on Raw or even defended anywhere near WWE in months. I know it just got defended at the pay-per-view, but I mean, when is the last time we've seen a legit Universal title match on Monday Night Raw? It was like 2 years ago when Roman Reigns was doing that whole feud with Vince McMahon and Triple H and The Authority. And that's when he won the Universal title. I miss those days. I miss the days where the Universal Champion would actually come out, make a promo, and have a match. Whether it be a tag team, a singles, or a triple threat match. Sometimes a fatal 4-way, even a handicap match. Put Brock Lesnar on Raw. He has not wrestled on Raw in a long time. People would like to see him wrestle on Raw. They don't want to have to pay to watch him wrestle. I mean, if you want to give the people a reason to pay to watch him fight, give them a little taste of what they're going to get, like they used to do with Stone Cold and The Rock back in the day. At least you got to see them on the show every week. I mean, that's why Stone Cold Steve Austin's still the greatest superstar of the Attitude Era, him and The Rock, because they went through hell to get where they are. But people like Brock Lesnar coming in, I know Ronda Rousey's coming in, and I'm not to say that she's going to be like Brock. She's not going to be like Brock. I think she's going to be on the show every week, and she is going to earn her spot. I agree with exactly what AJ Styles said the other day. She is going to be the next Kurt Angle. She is going to come in, and I think she's going to pick up the business just like that. But the girls don't like it because she's popular, and that's the reason she's here. She didn't have to work her way to the WWE like they did, which you can agree with that beef. But you also have to agree with the fact that she did earn her way to the popularity in the UFC. So you can tell any one of those women's wrestlers, try to do that and see how far you get. You can't say that Ronda Rousey never earned her way into the WWE. You can't do it. She worked her ass off to be an Olympian. She worked her ass off to be the UFC Bantamweight champion for as long as she did. Undefeated as long as she did before she finally got beat. Holly Holm and Amanda Nunes are really good martial arts fighters. But the reason why the women don't like it is because they have been fighting for years to be that woman, and now it feels like they're going to get fed to Ronda Rousey, and I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think Ronda would want that to happen, as much of a fan as she is of the sport. Brock doesn't give a shit. Brock is a money hog. Brock, I mean, he enjoys professional wrestling. He enjoys just combat, period. Any kind of combat sport, whether it be football, fighting, wrestling, anything that he can do. Brock Lesnar is here for the paycheck because he has a family, and he's also a greedy son of a bitch. And everybody knows he's a greedy son of a bitch. So I don't think it matters what the Divas think. I think it matters is when Ronda Rousey does sign her contract at the Elimination Chamber, she needs to come in and make as many friends as possible or she's going to get destroyed. It's going to be the you were given shit thing all over again. Like, no. The worst thing WWE can do is have her come in and face Charlotte. That is the worst thing they can do. They need to build that. Build that over time. You need to give her a taste. No, scratch that. What you need to do is book her exactly as they booked Brock Lesnar back in 2002. He came in as the next big thing. He went on to win the King of the Ring. He challenged The Rock at SummerSlam and won the Undisputed Championship, which then became the WWE Championship. Had an incredible feud with Big Show and Kurt Angle that led to him winning the Royal Rumble and defeating Kurt Angle for that title again at WrestleMania 19, where he botched that shooting star press, by the way. But everybody's going to remember that match because the feud was incredible. Like, it was one of the best feuds that Brock Lesnar's ever done, other than the stuff he did with Cena. The stuff he did with Cena was okay. The stuff he did with Goldberg was okay, but in my opinion, Brock Lesnar's debut year was the year that made him legitimate, that made him a threat in any combat sport. Like, from the night he debuted, I remember being a kid and watching him debut on Raw, and poor Spike Dudley took that deadly spine buster into the trash can. If anybody wants to know what I'm talking about, look it up on YouTube. Brock Lesnar makes his debut. He picked up poor Spike Dudley and triple powerbombed him and just spine busted him into a trash can. I mean, that lets you know, hey, this dude's not playing around. This is like Godzilla. He is coming to fight. He's coming to fight, and he's coming to wreck shit if you get in his way. That's who Brock Lesnar is. That is not who Ronda Rousey is. Ronda Rousey is not hit first, ask questions later. She loves to feel the people out, play mind games with them, and then whoop their ass. And that's exactly what she needs to do. She needs to come in. I think what they need to do is have her in possibly a match like I think they want to do with The Rock, her, Triple H, and Stephanie, just to legitimize her and just get her the feel of what a WrestleMania is like. Then I think what they've needed for a long time is the first ever women's Queen of the Ring tournament. They've done King of the Ring in the past for the men. They've never done a Queen of the Ring. Ronda Rousey should enter that. Ronda Rousey should win that. She should go on to face Charlotte at either SummerSlam or, better yet, have her face Asuka at SummerSlam and defeat her. Doesn't even need to be for the title, because next year you're going to need a draw for the Women's Royal Rumble match. As to say this year wasn't impressive, because it was extremely impressive. But Ronda Rousey, if she wins the second Royal Rumble match, that's when you can legitimize her as a threat to the Women's Championship. And then you can have that massive showdown between her and Charlotte at WrestleMania next year. Not this year, next year. That's the perfect build for Ronda Rousey. The fans are probably going to boo her out of the building as soon as she gets a championship opportunity. But if they've got the respect for her by then, they wouldn't do that. Everybody loves Ronda Rousey. I've not met one person that hates Ronda Rousey. If you hate Ronda Rousey, then you don't know what hard work is. Like, you're just a sit-at-home person that don't know what hard work is. And if you're not a sit-at-home person and you do work for a living, then you ought to respect it. If not, you're just a jackass. And that's me calling out anybody who hates Ronda Rousey. I mean, the reason why in my book, she lost her last 2 fights, she just didn't want to do it anymore. If she really wanted to be involved with it and do it, she would have put up a fight in those first rounds. And she didn't, because she just wasn't into the sport anymore. And that's where she comes into the WWE at. And you guys mark my words, when she comes to WWE, it's going to be big. It's going to be everywhere. And the women are complaining about how she's getting the attention. Good. It's putting attention on you. Like Sasha Banks saying she doesn't have anything nice to say. Why? It's because the spotlight's being taken off of Sasha Banks. Sasha Banks is a spotlight hog. It's not just her character. That's the way she is. And it's not a bad thing. But she needs to understand that Ronda Rousey is going to bring the ratings. and the money towards you. And if you end up beating Ronda Rousey one night, you're going to be everywhere. You're going to be in headlines. I mean, it's incredible. It's incredible the fact that we have UFC fighters now making a transition to wrestling, and we have wrestlers like CM Punk trying to go to UFC, now looking for his second fight, but yet they keep shagging Jason David Frank, which I have no idea why. To me, Jason David Frank is right. That would make money. But besides the point, let's get back to Ronda Rousey. I loved her debut, even though pointing to the WrestleMania sign 4 times, it was unnecessary. She just needed to do it the once and walk over there and shake hands. She didn't need to point at it again. She didn't need to point at it again. Everybody got the message. She wanted to go to WrestleMania. She wants to do something at WrestleMania. People, when Asuka slapped her hand away, thought, hey, maybe Asuka at WrestleMania. But no, it's not going to happen because Asuka, she won the Royal Rumble, and she's fighting whoever the champion's going to be at WrestleMania. But that's just a little tease to put in the package down the line for Ronda Rousey to have a match with Asuka. If anybody's to defeat Asuka, it could be Ronda Rousey. I mean, because Asuka's never been in the ring with a fighter. She's been in there with wrestlers, but she's never been in there with a fighter. That legitimizes wrestling a little bit. Like, people with different combat skills coming to professional wrestling is going to make it bigger. It's going to make it better. People are going to have to up their styles in order to compete. And Ronda Rousey's going to have to learn to do what Brock Lesnar did. It's not a combat sport. She's going to have to learn wrestling moves. But she can also do what he did and take moves like the Kimura lock, easy Germans, takedowns, ground and pounds like he does in WWE. She can take that and use that to her advantage. I mean, it's fantastic when you think about it. But people don't like it because someone already popular is coming in there and stealing the spotlight from someone who is a favorite. I don't like it either, but I know it has to be done because it's what keeps WWE above the ground. It keeps them above the ground. And Vince McMahon, of course he loves his money. He's the one that interrupts matches by putting commercials on. I've even seen him interrupt promos putting commercials on. And it's stupid, I know. But it keeps WWE above the ground. It keeps WWE a step higher than TNA, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Ring of Honor. Everybody knows who they are, but nobody watches them. If you watch Ring of Honor, you watch them on YouTube. You watch New Japan Pro Wrestling, you watch them on YouTube. You watch WWE, you watch it live on USA, or you watch them on WWE Network, or you watch them on YouTube. See, they have you. They have you for the telly, they have you for the network, and they have you for YouTube. And it's what keeps WWE, in the mainstream media. Not to mention them bringing Jonathan Coachman back from ESPN. I don't know if he left ESPN or he got bought out from ESPN by WWE. I don't know. Smart move. Booker T, his commentating is great. I love his color, but I mean, come on. Corey Graves right now is the best commentator in the WWE. Corey Graves is, in my book. Mark Ronaldo was good. Corey Graves, I love his puns. I love his enthusiasm. I love his comebacks. When someone insults him, he's always got one ready. That's what happened. That's what they're missing. They're missing good talkers behind the commentary booth. Michael Cole, I mean, look, I got a lot of respect for Michael Cole. He's been through a lot of hell in his WWE career. He went through that heel thing back in 2012, 13, 14, and now people boo him all the time, which they shouldn't. But I mean, when you hear him screw up a person's name or a move or say something he shouldn't on live television, which he does almost every single week, and you can catch it because he's not a good talker. He's not a good reactor. He's not like Jim Ross. By God, that killed him. When someone comes out, he's like, oh my, it's John Cena. Not, oh my God, by God, what the hell, it's John Cena. That's Jim Ross. That's what everybody loves. They love reactions because it gets you psyched up, goosebump. Cole just doesn't have that. Corey Graves has that. I've heard him when someone does an incredible move off the top rope. Good God, that broke his spine. His back could be permanently damaged. I love that stuff. That's what you want to hear from commentary. Michael Cole, he's been around for a long time, so everybody already knows his shtick. But he's getting a little better, but he's also getting a little worse at the same time. He's kind of going up and down between years. I mean, last night he had a good night on Monday Night Raw, but he's not had great ones. There's been a long time since Michael Cole has been relevant. My favorite Michael Cole moment in the history of WWE is the night Booker T fought Rikishi on SmackDown. Rikishi gave Booker T a stink face, and Michael Cole was laughing. He's like, look, Booker T's retching. And you can find this on YouTube. He's retching. Booker T throws up, sprays puke. I don't know if it's fake puke or real puke, all over Michael Cole. And you can hear him go, "Doe! Ah!" And King just starts laughing. It's a great moment. It's a gross moment, but it's a great moment. Cole has great moments. He needs to go back to the old school like he used to be. He used to say, damn it, when superstars that he liked lost the belt. I remember when Big Show cheated to beat Brock Lesnar at Survivor Series. Taz was like, not this way. Not this way. Kick out, Brock. And then the 3 count hits, and Cole goes, damn it, Paul Heyman just screwed Brock Lesnar. Go back to that. Not, oh my God, or oh my, or sweet Jesus, like stuff like that. Get that out of here. That's some John Cena, PG, Vince McMahon bullshit. I mean, if you guys let Roman Reigns curse and Stone Cold hold up the middle fingers, let the commentators say whatever they want. Let the commentators do what they want. That's how you can change the show. That's how you can make the show better. Oh, and another thing I've got to say is let John Cena do his thing, guys. I know that him coming and stealing spotlight it's killing superstars, yes. But I mean, there's not really much we can do about it. I clap now when John Cena comes out because, I mean, I respect the dude. He's done a lot for the sport of wrestling. But as I told a friend the other night, as soon as John Cena leaves, WWE is going to change forever. It is. It's going to change the sport of professional wrestling forever. I mean, because we're not going to have any more PG wannabes. We're going to have people trying to earn that spot that John Cena left for him, not given to him like Roman Reigns was. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say Roman Reigns did not earn anything, because he did. Roman Reigns has been through, I mean, he went through what The Rock was going through in 2003. He did. He went through every bit of it. People boo him. People cheer him. But the point is, he gets a reaction, just like John Cena does. That's what Vince McMahon wants. He wants you to boo him, to hate him, but you're going to pay that ticket in order to boo him and hate him. You're going to bring your sign that says Roman sucks. You're going to bring your sign that says I love Roman Empire, stuff like that. And Roman Reigns has been growing on me little by little, but he has got to change his character up a little bit. The big dog thing is fine. The moves, he's been putting on some pretty good matches lately. He really has. He actually put on a great match the other night. I mean, it's incredible when you think of it. Roman Reigns looked great in the ring with Shinsuke Nakamura. Can you imagine the match they would have in the future if they ever booked that? At the end of the Royal Rumble of 2018, I mean, for the 5 minutes that they were in the ring together, they were stealing the show. It was incredible to watch. I mean, it really was. Even though it was finisher after finisher, they sold it. Like, they really sold that, hey, this shit hurts. And that's what we're missing. We're missing good sells. We're missing people that actually give a damn about the sport. I'm telling you, Roman Reigns does care about you. He cares about wrestling. I mean, he is in that family of the Usos, of The Rock, Rikishi. He is in that category. He's one of those guys that's not here because of his family. He's here, to live on through the heritage and the legacy, which I can respect that. And speaking of his heritage and legacy, let's talk about the Usos, man. They went from one of the most boring tag teams that I could care less about to locking people in the Uso penitentiary. Their theme song is dope. Their moves are dope. Their promos are excellent. And they deserve to be the tag team champions as long as they want, until a new team shows they have the gall to take over that top spot. I am so glad that they're not just giving those titles away to people like they are on Raw. You have to be an incredible tag team to be able to take them titles from the Usos as hot as they are right now. And they are on a hot streak. I'm telling you, they're on a hot streak. I went and saw them live the other night, and they fought Rusev and Aiden English. And Rusev is on fire right now with the Rusev Day stuff. And I think New Day was in the match too as a triple threat. Those three teams got more reaction during their match than the steel cage match between AJ Styles and Kevin Owens did. I think because everybody was burned out. I mean, this was a live house show, by the way. And that tag team match, that opened the show, stole it. Because the crowd wasn't the same after it. When the Usos came out, I have a video, TCT 92 graphics, what you're listening to right now. I have a video of the Usos coming out. Now, I don't have Rusev coming out. I think I do have Rusev coming out. I have no idea. It's on a video somewhere. He fought somebody. But I think he fought Breezango. They fought Breezango. But when they came out and got on the ropes and held those belts up, the place erupted. And you can see it and you can hear it. That's why I love doing my little recordings, even though you're not supposed to technically, but I'm not recording any of the action. I'm just recording the fan reactions and the entrances. So it's not to be harmed. I've actually gotten approval from WWE company emailing me like, we don't like it, but we're going to go with it because it's bringing more attention to our superstars. Which it is. It's bringing more attention to the superstars. That's why people record people coming out during the Royal Rumble, because the reaction. People love. Like, I can't tell you how many times I go on YouTube just to listen to the reaction of AJ Styles making his debut at the Royal Rumble. Or how many times I've seen John Cena, a cell phone video of John Cena coming out in Madison Square Garden in 2008 and hearing the crowd go, oh shit, without the stupid commentary. I can't tell you how many times I've done that. A lot of people do that. I have a video of Becky Lynch in the Richmond Coliseum winning the Women's Championship for the first time. That's got over 4,000 views at the moment. And it's still climbing. And that was 2 years ago. My videos, they normally get maybe 100 to 200 views. I'm hoping to change that. I'm hoping to bring people content and do what I love. I mean, this is like me venting here. This is why I want to do something like this. A good 22 minutes I've been talking to you guys, letting out my frustrations about professional wrestling. That's what I want to do. Speaking of AJ Styles, the man is on another level right now. But Shinsuke Nakamura winning the Rumble was a good thing. But what they're doing right now with his promos, they've got to amp it up. They have got to amp it up. We all know AJ Styles is retaining his title at Fastlane. And if he doesn't, what the hell is wrong with Vince or Triple H or any of the corporate execs? Shinsuke versus AJ is the WrestleMania match. It has to be. Don't nobody want to see Shinsuke versus Kevin. Don't nobody want to see Shinsuke versus Sammy. As much as we would like to, we want Shinsuke versus AJ now. That is a superstar main event. Shinsuke Nakamura has to do more than just say, I'm going to beat you at WrestleMania. And AJ Styles has to say more than, every time he does that. Shinsuke, for one, needs to take the mouthpiece out of his mouth when he talks. And someone needs to get with him on his translation. You know what he's missing? Call that violinist and have him translate or be like a Paul Heyman character for Shinsuke. I mean, I love when Shinsuke talks, but it's hard to understand him sometimes. Which, I'm not putting that down. I mean, I know that's his native language, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful here. But when you're in the WWE, there is a lot of people that are not going to like you because they can't understand you. Ask Tajiri, man. Tajiri and Funaki got eat up back in the day. And they were some of the greatest wrestlers I'd ever seen. I miss Tajiri. I miss Funaki. Tajiri would have the poison mist. Funaki would be the SmackDown #1 announcer. And I'm glad he did that because that helped him speak English better. Shinsuke needs to get on the microphone every week and just try to cut a promo. Try. That's all we're asking, for him to try to talk. People don't like him right now because he's not cutting good promos, they would go. I mean, they like him. They sing his songs. He is the rock star. Like, he is really popular. But they would love him. And I mean love him. If he would get in the ring and cut a really, really, really intense promo with AJ Styles. Hell, even go heel or something. But I wouldn't have him go heel right now before Mania, because he is on top of the world. The theme song is what's done it. And his wacky attitude. People miss that kind of wrestling. People miss old school gimmicks. That crazy Japanese gimmick is like, what the, come on, that stuff he does. I watched it with a friend the other day who had never seen him before, and when his hands are going down his legs and he's doing that come on stuff, he's like, what is he doing? And it's got him laughing. And I'm like, it's funny. He's just trying to be funny. Tell the guy to come on. He says, that's weird, but it works for Shinsuke because it's got you chuckling, and that's what you want out of a good superstar. Great wrestler, man. Needs to work on his promos. Now, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, that needs to be your match at Mania. It really does. Just be like, look, go and tell Daniel when you lose, or Shane when you lose. It's like, look, we're sorry. We won our WrestleMania moment. So we either want a match with the Usos or the New Day. I could see them in a Fatal 4-Way ladder match for the tag titles. That could be a position for them. Or a Fatal 5-Way. Put Breezango, New Day, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, Rusev Day, whatever they're calling themselves, and the Usos in an opening ladder match. I could see that. I mean, that's what Money in the Bank took from WrestleMania, the ladder match. And we had an incredible ladder match last year where the Hardys made their debut. I mean, they hadn't been in WWE for 8 years, got a great reaction. Can you imagine the reaction if Rusev Day won the titles in a ladder match? Or if Kevin Owens and Sami won the title with all their international support coming in for WrestleMania? It would be an incredible moment for them. It would be like, hey, we're back on top of the world. They're having a good time right now, but you can just tell it's killing them that they're not on top. It's killing them. You can just see the look in Kevin's face every week. I go from being WWE champion to United States champion to nothing, to this, to having a feud with Shane McMahon, which they've got to stop this stuff with Daniel Bryan, by the way. If he wants to leave, just let him leave. If he wants to have a match with Shane McMahon, let him do it and just be done with it. It's making them both look like crap. It's making you not want to watch SmackDown. The reason why I wanted to watch SmackDown when they first took it over is because they were good. SmackDown to me was whipping Raw at one point. It was whipping Raw. Right now, they're both even right now. It's like, I'm not watching SmackDown because I know I'm not going to miss anything. And if I find out I did miss something, I'm definitely watching next week. It's like when I just saw Braun Strowman and Elias had that incredible promo where Braun Strowman took the base and smashed over Elias's back on Monday Night Raw. That's incredible for wrestling. I mean, it's good stuff. They don't do that on SmackDown anymore. My favorite SmackDown moment from when I was a kid was when Eddie Guerrero brought out the sewage truck and sprayed Big Show with shit. And it was during the United States title feud. And it makes you wonder how much you miss Eddie Guerrero and how much you wish Big Show would go back to the intense man he was. Big Show has nothing left to prove, though. I'm just going to say that right now. I'm glad Big Show passed the torch to Braun Strowman. That's exactly what he did. To me, if Big Show's retired, he really has no reason to come back except to be an endorser. Like, someone to go around and endorse events, Just be a guy to shake hands and say, hey, I'm here. Everybody respects the Big Show. Big Show is a surefire Hall of Famer. Braun Strowman right now is the most incredible monster since Big Show came out and started doing his thing. I'm not even going to mention Great Khali. Great Khali was good for a while because he was massive. He was huge. But he couldn't do anything, and that's not his fault. It's because of his growth. People are like, oh, he was a horrible superstar. Of course he was. He can't move at that height. His legs would give out on him. The only thing he could do was slam, chop, and headbutt, which is okay for a big guy. I mean, Andre used to do it. Andre used to not do much, but everybody loved Andre. I give any wrestler their respect. I know a lot of stuff isn't their fault, like especially the Giants. But Braun Strowman right now is making his moments last because he knows I might not be able to do this forever. I might not be able to be like Big Show. I might not be able to be like Kane, but I don't want to end up like Great Khali. And poor Kane, guys, just let Kane be done. You can tell he just doesn't want to be there. He's there to teach now. That's why Rhino's still there with Heath. He's putting Heath over. He's helping Heath because Heath has been there for years. He's been there almost a decade. Heath Slater has been there a long time. It feels like almost a decade. It's been almost a decade Heath Slater has been there. And he has lasted as one of the best jobbers. It was like Santino Marella. To me, that's what they're missing. They're missing good jobbers. Like, you know Santino's going to lose almost every match he does, but he did it in such a way that every time Santino came out, he's like, oh, we're in for a fun one right now. Santino Marella was actually my favorite jobber as a kid. I loved when he made his debut against the Samoan Bulldogs. I'll never forget it. They had the perfect debut for Santino Marella. Umaga was the Intercontinental Champion, had never been beat. Well, actually, I think he had been beat by John Cena. John Cena, I think, broke his streak like he did with Khali's. That's beside the point. He was unstoppable. He had Armando Alejandro Estrada as his manager, and Vince McMahon endorsed him because I think of the Battle of the Billionaires was going on that year, something like that, with him with Donald Trump and stuff. You know, he was really high on Umaga. And Umaga was incredible. And he challenged the fans. He says, I bet any one of you cannot get in this ring and defeat the Samoan Bulldozer. And they chose Santino, and Santino did. It was by a miracle, which is why it's called the Millennium Miracle. And then he did his whole shtick with Maria, which had a great moment from Stone Cold Steve Austin, bringing out the truck and spraying them both. He did his shtick with Beth Phoenix, the Glamorella, who is now in the Hall of Fame, by the way, which I felt is well-deserved because I enjoyed everything she did. I think Beth Phoenix should have been in the Hall immediately because she was fantastic. I'm surprised Santino is not in the Hall. He's probably the greatest babyface on the mid-card that they had in years, since like Doink the Clown. And he was a great athlete too, man. Good wrestler. I'm surprised they didn't give him try to give him a title run. Phenomenal moment with Alberto Del Rio in the 2011 Royal Rumble. I'll never forget it. Like, see, it's moments like that you just don't forget. He gets up into the ring. Alberto thinks he's won the Rumble. I just wish they would have let Santino throw it over. They could have made history, the biggest upset in Royal Rumble history, so that everybody know it was possible for a nobody, for someone like us who came out of the crowd to win a Royal Rumble. But they just couldn't pull the trigger on that. But they gave him an incredible moment at the Elimination Chamber as well a few years ago when he did his little Rocky shtick and almost defeated Daniel Bryan for the World Heavyweight Championship. We knew he wasn't gonna, and that was the problem with it. We knew he was like the Hurricane. We knew he had the potential to do it. And he was over as hell at that point. They were cheering because he was one of the final two. It's like, dude, Santino is getting a massive pop. Put the title on him. Like, if you put the title on him for just 4 weeks, that was 4 weeks of, oh my God, what are we watching? That's good stuff. You would never have to do it again. But you say, hey, this guy paid his dues. He earned it. He's there. That's what we miss from wrestling, man. We all miss that from wrestling. I mean, if WCW can have David Arquette from Ready to Rumble win the championship, why can't Santino Marella? You know, I'm like people that say the Hurricane was their favorite. I loved the Hurricane. The Hurricane was on top of the world when I was 10 years old. That whole shtick where he came out in the 2002 Royal Rumble and tried to choke slam Stone Cold and Triple H just put a smile on my face. Even though he didn't do it, he flew over the ropes. But the incredible feud he had in 2003, I believe it was 2003, with The Rock. He defeated The Rock. I remember the Raw he defeated The Rock. The Rock couldn't believe it. And that, like, I wish it, people like him, Eugene, massive upsets. When Eugene defeated Triple H, the place exploded. It's moments like that that make wrestling worth watching. It's like, if Santino Marella was the world heavyweight champion, you can't tell me that you wouldn't be the least bit curious to tune in to SmackDown the following week to see what happens. That's when the ratings will go up. Now, they're not going to stay up if he continues to retain the title after the way you booked him. So you can have him lose it almost immediately. Yeah, go ahead and have him lose it almost immediately. 4 weeks later, it doesn't matter. Shawn Michaels back in 2002 had that feud with Triple H from SummerSlam up until Armageddon. He won the first ever Elimination Chamber, held the title for 4 weeks. Triple H took it back in the 3 stages of hell. In the 2 out of 3 falls match, the street fight, the cage, and the ladder match at the end, which had that great spot of Shawn Michaels going through the tables. It just wasn't enough. Triple H said, look, Shawn, you're not enough. But anyway, I just wanted to let you know that I am going to be doing a lot more of these when I get time. This is going to be a regular thing. I'm going to try to do as many of these as I can in order to get my feel on wrestling out there. Because I do watch wrestling. I watch NXT, I watch Raw, I watch SmackDown. I watch anything I can with professional wrestling. So, thank you guys for listening. This is TCTW, TCT Talks Wrestling.